Kaduna woke up to something completely extraordinary on Tuesday, March 24, 2026. And the city that El-Rufai governed for 8 years, the city where he built roads and demolished structures and made decisions that divided Nigerians deeply along ethnic and religious lines, became today the city where he stood in a courtroom dock facing criminal charges brought by the very anti-corruption agency of the federal government he once served at the highest level. This was not a rumor, this was not a press conference, this was not a political speech. This was a formal arraignment in a court of law. And every single Nigerian who has been following this 34-day saga from the night of February 18, when ICPC operatives intercepted El-Rufai as he walked out of EFCC custody, through every remand order, every court battle, every social media statement, every allegation and every counter-allegation has been waiting for exactly this moment. The security arrangements that greeted Tuesday morning in Kaduna told the full story of how seriously the Nigerian state views what happened in that courtroom today. Armed security operatives, fierce-looking, heavily equipped and positioned with precision, were stationed at every entry point to the Federal High Court complex. Vehicular movement across multiple major routes in the state capital was restricted from early morning, with motorists forced into single lanes from the Ungwan-Saki axis all the way through Kawu. Traffic disruptions spread across the entire city. Supporters and observers gathered outside the court premises but were kept at a considerable distance from the building. And journalists, the people whose job it is to witness and report on public proceedings in a democracy, were barred from entering the courtroom itself. Whatever happened inside that room today between El-Rufai, his lawyers, the ICPC's prosecuting team, and the presiding judge happened behind closed doors, away from the cameras and microphones that Nigeria was waiting to receive. Two separate cases, two different courts, both charging the same man. The first case, suit number FHC/KD/73/2026 before the Federal High Court, saw El-Rufai arraigned alongside co-defendant Joel Adoga on charges of unlawful conversion and possession of public property and money laundering. The second case, suit number KDH/KAD/ICPC/01/26 before the Kaduna State High Court, charges El-Rufai alongside Amadu Sule of the Kaduna State Livestock Development Agency on a wider and arguably more serious set of allegations, including abuse of office, fraud, intent to commit fraud, and conferring undue advantage. Both charge documents were filed by the ICPC on March 18, 2026. Both had been formally served on El-Rufai before today's court appearance, and the ICPC's head of media and public communications, Joel Adoga, made clear in Monday's announcement that the commission remains fully committed to due process and the rule of law in how these prosecutions are conducted. If you have been following the El-Rufai case from the very beginning and you want every court date, every ruling, every new development broken down in full as it happens, subscribe to this channel right now and hit that notification bell, because this trial is going to be one of the longest, most complex, and most politically charged legal proceedings in Nigerian history, and this channel will be here every step of the way. Now, here is the dimension of today's arraignment that goes far beyond the courtroom. Joel Adoga, the man sitting in that dock alongside El-Rufai in the Federal High Court case, is a name that carries enormous significance if you have been paying attention to what El-Rufai has been saying since his detention began. In the sworn criminal complaint El-Rufai filed before a court on March 17th, alleging that ICPC officials pressured him to quit 2027 politics as a condition of his release, he specifically named Joel Adoga as a person who was detained by the ICPC not because of any genuine allegations against him, but because he refused to fabricate confessions against El-Rufai. That allegation, which the ICPC has never publicly denied, now sits directly alongside the charges in today's arraignment. The same man El-Rufai claims was detained to pressure him into making false admissions is now his co-defendant in a criminal case. That is either a remarkable coincidence or exactly the kind of detail that El-Rufai's legal team will use to challenge the entire integrity of the prosecution from the very first hearing. The broader political picture surrounding today's arraignment is one that every Nigerian watching the 2027 election space needs to understand clearly. El-Rufai left the APC, the party he helped found, and joined the ADC, the party Peter Obi is running with for the presidency in 2027. He told a court that ICPC officials told him to leave that party as a condition of his freedom. He spent 34 days in detention without formal charges, while his family, his lawyers, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and prominent figures across Nigeria demanded due process. Yesterday, just one day before today's arraignment, DSS operatives stormed the residence of former AGF Malami less than an hour after Atiku's solidarity delegation left the building. The pattern of events surrounding every prominent northern opposition figure who has aligned with or expressed sympathy for the ADC is a pattern that is now impossible to ignore. Here is what we want to hear from you today. Now that El-Rufai has been formally arraigned after 34 days of detention, do you believe the ICPC has a genuine and solid case that will hold up in court? Or do you think the timing of these charges, the political context of his ADC membership, and his own allegations about being pressured to quit 2027 politics make this prosecution look more like targeted political persecution than genuine anti-corruption work? Drop your most complete and honest thoughts in the comments section right now. Share this video with everyone following this case because today is a day that will be remembered in Nigerians' political and legal history. Like it if this complete breakdown gave you everything you needed, and stay subscribed because the next hearing date will be set and El-Rufai's legal team is already preparing a response that this channel will break down for you in full the moment it is made public.